In today's video, we're going to be making a vinyl glove holder. The holder will essentially be able to mount this pack of vinyl gloves onto the wall via drywall screws. The first thing that we're going to need to know is how big the glove box is going to be that holds our vinyl gloves. With this drawing, it's going to show that this is 9.5 by 5 by 2 inches. And then it's going to have a hole in the middle of 6 by 2.365. Uh, then the drywall screws that we're using right here are going to be number 6, and they're going to be 1.25 inch long. So the first thing that we're going to do is open up our new part studio. We're going to first start by setting our variables. So we're going to use the box width, box height, and box depth. And we're going to put in the dimensions that we just had in the drawing over there. So it's going to be 5 by 9.5 by 2 inches. And we're going to set the variables right here. So essentially, if you have a different size box or anything of that sort, you can follow along in the video, but just have different variables inserted right here. And you should get something that you can use on your end rather than kind of following along and trying to change up on the fly or anything like that. So the first thing that we're going to do is start a sketch. We're going to click on the front plane and view it normal to sketch plane. We're going to go over here to a center point rectangle and click on the origin and click out in space. And we're going to dimension these 2 dimensions right here. So click on your dimension or click on the D button. I'll be clicking on the D a lot in order to dimension. This one is going to be our box height. So we'll put box height. And then we also want to add our tolerances to this as well. So let's add 0.03125 to that. And make sure you add in your inches when using variables. Otherwise, it'll error out on you and uh, it, uh, it won't do what you want to. So we're going to do the same thing for the width. So let's do box width right here. And then we're going to add in a tolerance of 1/8 of an inch here. So, ooh, that's not what we wanted. Let's do 0.125. There we go. And the difference in tolerances right here is because the box is going to be open on the top, so you don't really need the tolerance extra for the top portion. But since it's a box, the it kind of bends uh, in different ways, so you need quite a lot of tolerance to make sure that it fits in the end. Press OK for the sketch, and then we're going to extrude. And in the extrude, we're going to use the box depth. And then we're going to add our 0.125 to that as well. So let's press OK and look at our box. Now that doesn't look right. So let's see. Oh, we forgot a decimal right there again. That looks much better. So essentially, we just 3D modeled the box, the glove box with tolerances on it. And what we're going to do that is create a shell. And we're going to have the top portion as the open portion. And instead of the shell thickness going towards the inside, right, we'll just have it go on the outside. So that'll encompass our entire box. So all you have to do that is click on these arrows right here for the opposite direction. And now it's going outside the box rather than on the inside. And we could just click 0.125. That should be enough of a thickness for 3D printing. Have a nice and sturdy box that'll last a while. Press OK. And that's essentially our box holder. But in the front, we'll probably need a spot to take the gloves out. So let's click on our sketch right there. View normal to sketch plane. Let's do an ellipse. I'll click there and there. And we'll probably want the hole to be the same exact as the hole in the box. So we can go back over to our drawing. Look, this hole's going to be 6 by 2.365. So let's add those dimensions to our ellipse right here. 2.365 and 6. And then we're going to extrude that. It's going to be 0.125 for the thickness of our shell. We're going to remove it, press OK. And then we're going to move on to the back of our box, do a sketch, right click, view normal to sketch plane. And here we're going to add our screw holes. So we have some holes to mount this over to the wall. So we're going to want 2 center point circles. And I line this up with the origin so they're in the center. Press OK. And then now we're going to use a construction line because I want these to sit in the middle of the box based off the origin. So we can put a point right here, and we want to put this in the midpoint. So see, we can do a coincidence on here, but if we hit the midpoint, then the coincidence will change to the middle, and we can click on that. So now we've got these 2 points right here, and we can coincident them together. And that'll make it to where these 2 holes will always be the same distance away from the center. So we can dimension this and say, we could do 4, right? Or we could change this to say 3 and see the holes move closer to the origin. They're both 1.5 inches away. So now we can go over to our drywall screw drawing, and it looks like these are 0.125 in thickness. So if we go back to our part, that's what we're going to want to put as our hole, 0.125. And then we probably want to add a little bit of tolerance to that. So 0.03125. So add a little 32nd of an inch. And that'll be our hole for our drywall screws. We want this circle and this circle to be the same. So let's make them equal. I'll click on that. And that'll make both equal with only putting in 1 dimension. Press OK. We're going to extrude these 2 holes, and we could just click on sketch 3 to do that. We're going to want to remove them, and we only need them to go 1/8 of an inch because that's our thickness. Press OK. And those are our holes. Now the drywall screw is tapered on from the head, so let's just add a little chamfer to each one of those. So and then the head of the screw fits flush with the box. Then it won't get in the way of us putting the box in there. Press OK. And that's our vinyl glove holder. If you like the video, give it a like. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you.